From the Schmoes Know Network studios in Los Angeles, California, it's time for Jedi Alliance with your hosts, Master Kenobi Ken Napzok and the young Padawan, Maude Garrett.
Hello, hello, welcome to Jedi Alliance. This is the celebration of the greatest saga ever told. And I feel that even though there are technically 6 movies, we can talk a lot about this, can't we?
Absolutely. Schmoville, we are going to be talking about toys today.
Look at all the pretty toys here.
There's a lot of toys.
And we also have a guest
That's
there as
right.
well. Can't ignore that for much longer. Hello there.
Hello.
He is here.
Equally pretty.
Mr. Mike Black, you are our resident Jedi Alliance toy expert, so to speak. We are
Sure.
we are friends from comedy, from the stand-up comedy world, and you, sir, when it comes to toys, know your stuff.
I know quite a bit. I know
By necessity?
many things. Yeah, by necessity. 'Cause there's a guy that roughs me up if I don't know enough every week. Just weird bullies in my neighborhood. Very weird.
Wookiees are from Kashyyyk, I swear.
You better be right. There's a lot of that going on.
I bet
a lot
my
of
Wookiee.
fist shaking.
Oh, but this is going to be a fun-filled show. Mike's going to be making a few appearances, I'm sure, throughout the run here of Jedi Alliance, bringing cool toys, and we're going to do a little bit of a Star Wars Antique Roadshow.
Yes, I'm excited about this. I was painfully introduced to Antiques Roadshow as a kid. My best friend's mum was into it. I then became obsessed, but I figure there is no kind of like geek collectors Antique Roadshow.
Yeah.
So Mike, if it's okay with you, since you know your stuff so well, we've both brought in some toys that you could possibly assess for us in the show.
I'll try my best. And then what'll be fun is the feedback you'll get from real nerds that are like, no, he's absolutely wrong.
Oh,
You know?
meh.
You could get $55 for that in an open package.
I will pay you $100 right now for that.
We've got a figure-fueled Duel of the Fates coming up. We've got Star Pauses coming too. I'm not doing it yet, but Mike's going to be a good asset for you during the trivia challenge today. And well, Mike, we want to dive right in and find out a little bit about your history and path to becoming one of the more notable Star Wars fans that I know of.
Okay.
So what we do to everyone is ask 5 Star Wars questions. And everyone else, if you are watching this, we do have a Twitter account now at Jedi Alliance SK. Give that a follow and tweet along and tell us your top 5 as well if you haven't already, or jump on the Facebook page, the Jedi Alliance on the Schmoes Know Network. Schmoes Know. Did I get that right? No, I missed a letter.
You dropped an S. A lot of people add an S. A lot of people had 2 S's. You dropped an S. Schmoes. Oh, you put the extra S
The
there.
Schmoes'
Oh, okay.
noses.
Schmoes, no.
I have a nose too. Anyway, the first time you watched Star Wars and your favorite of the movies, go.
The first time I watched it was 77. I was 2. And according to my parents, it was the first movie that I didn't cry all the way through. It was like the first movie where I was just sat there, just taking it in. All I remember is the stormtroopers coming through the door.
Donk.
That's my first. That's not my very first cinema memory, but it's like the second one, I think.
It just kind of came
And
back
it was,
retroactively.
yeah. Well, the very first thing I remember from a movie was some Robert Redford prison movie, and him eating a salad, and there was a bug in it, and some dude next to him goes, "Eat it, it's protein." That's the very first thing.
One. Second one was
Right after that
Stormtroopers.
is Darth Vader busting through the door, looking for the ambassador. You know.
Well, that's yeah. I was 1 seeing it in my parents' Volkswagen van, so I have no memory of it really. Other than I was there.
You knew it was a
there.
Volkswagen.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
like, it's got to get better than this.
My favorite part about this is usually there is like a no child policy in movies just in case they start screaming, but Star Wars was so good back then that it did not matter. It was like 2, 1 years old, bring him anyway.
Yeah.
You've got to see the movie.
They're like, doesn't someone get his arm chopped off? Just bring the kid.
Yeah.
He's gonna-
Now I picture you being swaddled and all of a sudden crying and then just ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much when that fanfare starts, that 20th Century Fox fanfare starts, I was probably still crying.
Yeah.
But then when it got to the silent a long time ago, I was like, oh, I bet if I could read what it's saying here is sweet. You know?
And fate seems to take you through life from that
Yeah.
point on.
So favorite movie out of those though?
Out of the original trilogy, well, let's be honest, out of all of them, it's Empire Strikes Back.
Why am I alone?
What is yours?
Return of the Jedi.
Okay. Well, that's understandable because
Why?
you're younger.
Really? That's what it comes down to?
It really is.
It might be generational. I don't know.
Yeah, because you're gonna get attached to cuter things like Ewoks and
Maybe not. I say generational. I use that wrong. Maybe in about 10 years, you might be.
Maybe I don't like cliffhangers. Huh?
That could be too.
I don't like an open book. I like to finish things. That could be exactly what it is, and it's the Ewoks.
We grew
it's the
up.
damn Ewoks.
You know what though? It was a real cliffhanger, and we grew up in a time where a cliffhanger meant something, where you couldn't like get on the internet and pretty much find out what was going to happen.
Right.
You relied on like your buddy who was like, "I heard," and then he's like written his own crazy version of what's going to happen.
Sarah's sister's husband's cousin's dog. Sad.
Yeah. They were driving through Yuma, Arizona, and they said Blue Harvest is actually Return of the Revenge of the Jedi.
Yeah,
that's pretty much
like
it.
I had at least one friend of mine had a theory that everyone was related to Darth Vader. Like that you were just going to slowly find out the entire galaxy was related to Darth Vader.
He was also a part of the clone, and his DNA was like force-fed into the people making the universe.
He knows he can freeze Han because Han's a Jedi too, and he's his other son.
Going off a little tangent here, you brought something from my childhood. I, on the playground, used to kind of direct the recess what we were doing.
Right.
Like today we're going to be G.I. Joe and you're going to be this. I convinced one of my friends that Lando was Han's cousin and he had half force powers. Like he could make a lightsaber
to make him cooler
because he didn't want to be Lando, and I was like, "You got to be Lando." Oh, by the way, he's got half force powers. He's Han's cousin.
I'll be Lando.
Look, we live in the suburbs. We don't have any black kids. You have to be Lando. I'm sorry.
You've been to my town.
It's out of my
then.
hands. It's, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of characters, what is your favorite character?
God, I really want to say Boba Fett because to me he was the coolest.
Search your feelings. Is that the answer?
Man, I think it's actually Dr. Evastan.
I'm sorry, what?
He's the guy who goes, he doesn't like you.
Oh my god, that's an impersonation!
Do that again.
That's all you have to do. He doesn't like you. I don't like you either. I just love that.
This little one's not worth the trouble.
I love the balls that he has, and that his friend gets his arm chopped off. He's the one talking all the crap. He's coming up, starting fights, and the other guy was like asking for a mint or something.
Yeah, because he had balls for a mouth?
Yeah, he had a butt mouth or something.
Was that Ponda Baba, I think?
Yeah, Ponda Baba.
Oh, wow. See, this is why we bring Mike on. Because...
So I just like that he's aggressive. He's just like, you know... And you know the guy's like 40. He's 40. He knows he's fucking with Jedi. I just ruined it.
Happens.
Okay.
He's messing with Jedi.
Yeah.
He has to know that one's in a robe.
But isn't he wanted in like?
Yeah, he's got the death sentence on 12 systems. 12. And he's like,
when you have
Jedi.
to do it like that.
He's like, he asks his friend, he's like, you like those guys? And the guy's like, but he probably doesn't even speak his language. And he's like, you don't like them. I don't like them either. Let's go start some trouble, you know?
For an aggressive character, though, he's so aggressive that he has to tap him on the shoulder first to get his attention. Yeah.
He's politely aggressive.
Yeah.
Please, sir.
Pardon me.
Excuse me 1 second.
Do you have a favorite quote? Is it?
That's probably it. He doesn't like you. I've never heard, like, even in the worst type of like male bonding situation, no one has ever thrown that gem at me. Whereas they just come up, he doesn't like you.
You're a regular over the Comedy Store. Has that ever happened on the Comedy Store patio? Where someone's he doesn't like you.
He doesn't think you're funny. That's more likely to happen. Your jokes suck, according to him.
So does your nose. All over your face.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Out of all the force powers out there in the universe, good or bad, which force power would you like to adopt to use in day-to-day scenarios?
Force choke.
Oh, okay. We got another one.
Without a question. Without like, and I would use it at the drop of a hat. The guy puts the wrong thing on my Subway sandwich, force choke. You know, some guy cuts me off in traffic, force choke. Just all the time. It would corrupt me absolutely. Just as soon as I got it, everyone, force choke.
Force choke.
Would it be like funny every time someone went to take a sip of anything?
Yeah.
That too happens on the Comedy Store patio.
Yeah. Yeah, someone asks a question in the middle of a joke, force choke. Force chokes for everyone.
You can get a lot done with a force choke. That's why I chose this too. Mike and I are very similar.
Lightning fingers sounds pretty rad also, but I would get arrested pretty quickly. Like force choke.
Subtle.
There is no evidence.
Yeah, people think they had a stroke or something like that, but lightning fingers, it's going to point back to you evenally.
Okay.
Which I think was the original name of the Emperor. Was Lightning Fingers. Just call them Lightning Fingers. All right, George. How about the Emperor?
Lightning Fingers Palpatine.
So we've gone through also the quote that you use, which is "I don't like you."
Yeah, he doesn't like you.
He doesn't like
I like that he doesn't blame himself for the trouble that's about to happen. He doesn't like you.
We've broken down this scene and analyzed it already from different angles.
Sorry about the mess. Let's kick it off with the fifth one then. The last question that we ask everyone: would you turn to the dark side?
Yeah, I'd like to think
You've
I wouldn't.
just choked everyone in this room. They're all dead.
There's no way I can front after my last answer. I'm pretty sure I'd end up on the dark side.
He doesn't like you. I don't like you. I'm going to kill you. But I do see the good in everything.
I'd like to think I would eventually change like Anakin Skywalker did. Like, right before I die, I would do something nice.
Like your long-lost son would burn you in the forest and you'd be good again. Dancing.
It's kind of the atheist logic that I have of like, I'm going to do a bunch of terrible stuff my whole life, and then right at the end I'm going to find God.
Forgive me.
Yeah.
We have a guest engineer today, Phil, one of the main cogs in the wheel over here at AfterBuzz and the Schmoes Know Network of Movie Talk Nation. Phil, I want to ask you quickly, what force power would you use?
Give me 1 second, because I actually have a soundboard for all this stuff.
What?
So I prefer to let the sounds answer for me.
He's a man
Hold
of
on, is
action.
someone taking over my sound effects job?
Be with you.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
The force is with you. Now use the skill.
JT messed it all up.
Probably force choke JT.
He's got a bad feeling about this.
Well, Phil, what would you use? Just...
You know what? You threw to me, and now you're going to hate me. I'm not that into Star Wars.
All right. If you were in Star Trek, what phaser would you use? I'm kidding.
If you could choose between lightning fingers and force choke, which would you take?
Force choke.
Okay.
There we go. 3 force chokes to 1 Jedi
I feel
mind
very vulnerable in this room all of a sudden.
three white males like with their
would like
force,
to choke.
with their
Moving
force
on,
choking
Star
power.
Wars. I am Star Wars
You're challenging
to get out of that
to get out of the
conversation.
segment. To get out of the segment.
Woo! For the sake of this conversation. Alrighty, choose. Cut the deck.
All right, I'm cutting the deck.
I will choose.
I'm gonna choose. And you're gonna put. What are you gonna put? 60 seconds on the
Yeah,
clock
I'm gonna
now?
give you 60 seconds.
It used to be 2, Mike, but now she's cutting me down to 60. And
I could do 90 seconds.
No, 60's fine.
Oh.
Now,
I warn
Mike,
you, I'm useless at the prequels practically.
Oh, good, because they are
this
all
is
original
only main
trilogy.
So
Okay, good.
We have had a couple people bring that up, saying that they wish the prequels were in there. I actually own the other, like the all movies Star Wars Trivial Pursuit, and trust me when I say that every time you pick a prequel card, there is a consecutive moan.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually moan's kind of doing nice because you can moan in pleasure. So let's say groan, because groans are usually bad. All right, you ready?
all right, now Mike, as a guest, you get to jump in and help both of us today. So help me. We'll confer.
Peeking at the card while
I was not on my honor as a Sith Lord. I was not.
Probably good. That means your time starts now.
All right.
Who noted? There's no mystical energy field that controls my destiny.
Well, that's Mr. Han Solo.
Great. What's the first object seen in Return of the Jedi?
The first object seen in Return, the shuttle.
Jabba's palace.
No.
First object.
Oh.
I don't understand the question.
I guess when the movie starts, the screen shows you
The Death Star.
When they lower down, yeah.
The second Death Star.
There it is, the second Death Star.
Okay.
What did Leia acknowledge when she said, "I know. Somehow, I've always known."
That Luke was her brother.
Yeah.
Weird.
I'm glad you added that second sentence, or I would have been wrong.
Technically, the answer is she was Luke's sister by default. I'm kidding,
yeah.
kidding. Ha, ha, ha.
Brother, sister.
What was located on the second Death Star's North Tower?
The Emperor's Throne Room.
No.
Oh,
Sorry.
got it wrong then.
Yeah.
I answered too quickly. I didn't confer with my special.
And I don't know that one.
Sorry, I've just decided to play a trumpet somehow.
Yeah.
You can't see below the desk either. I'm quite talented.
Is it the deflector shields?
It's actually, no, it was the power regulator.
Which is what Wedge takes out, but I got it wrong.
Power regulator of the north thing. Maybe we'll give you 2 minutes. What type of droids caused C-3PO to sigh? Even I can't understand their logic at times.
Kind of droid?
Yeah.
Astromech?
Yeah, astromech droid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they say astro droids, but it's an astromech droid. Yes. And the last question: who directed Return of the Jedi?
Richard Marquand.
There he is. What's
Yeah.
that? 5 out of 6.
5 out of 6, putting me up to 42 to 32 currently. I can do math this week. Last week
Yes.
I had some issues adding.
We've been doing 5 apiece pretty much week in, week
5
out.
out of 6.
Yeah, because I'm now 10 behind.
Maybe Mike can help you make up some ground.
I want to get
Going 6 for 6.
Maybe. I was practically useless just now. We'll see.
No, you had my back, and I appreciate it. And I'm gonna go research the one I missed and flog myself with some cat of nine tails.
He likes to choke. He likes to whip. Good Lord.
Follow me on Twitter and contact me directly, ladies. Coming up now, we have Renewed Hope, which is our weekly look at this week in Star Wars news with Queen Amidala.
Thank you, Master Kenobi. Hello, Mike Black on the panel, and hello, Phil, who's now doing sounds. This is my sound. I'm Queen Amidala. Get to the news, bitch. Alrighty. Number 1, Anthony Daniels, who plays C-3PO, has wrapped filming on episode 7, tweeting in today's golden hour on a backlot in southeast England. It was a wrap for me. Terminal, I hope. Only in relation to episode 7, time will tell. So there he is. Hey, there's our buddy.
There's Tony.
He has wrapped filming, so, I mean, if we were to go deep into analysing here, because they're still filming everything else, why is C-3PO not in there? And does that mean R2-D2 has also finished filming Kenny Baker because they do it together?
Yeah, and I don't like the word terminal in there.
Yeah, that's very scary for him to use. I think the droids at this time in their careers, I don't think they need to be in it all the time. They're, plus it's known that they kind of don't like each other too. So maybe they had to separate them. And C-3PO, you're done. We'll have R2.
How do they not get along? Is it personality clash, or is it I want more money because I have to walk?
No, there is. I don't know a lot of facts. I don't want to delve into it, but it's well known through certain circles that Kenny Baker and Anthony Daniels just despise the hell out of each other, and they don't.
That's hilarious.
They're not seen together at the conventions.
They're
and
the
stuff
Hall
like
and
that.
Oates of Star Wars.
Exactly.
Keep them in separate rooms until the show.
Yeah.
So R2 could be swearing his head off, and we would never know because they beeped it out.
And then maybe the arguments in A New Hope were real. It just was actually fighting.
They just let him improvise now.
Hey, I'm just excited the original guys behind the droids are in this, and so
are they still making Anthony Daniels wear the costume?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, that came out last week.
It's funny that you say that because he does tweet a lot, and this is his tweet up here if you do want to get his Twitter handle to follow him. He tweets a lot about food and how many calories are in everything. So he's very, very particular about that. What I also like are some of the other tweets that he's been putting out there, even though there is a Fort Knox confidentiality agreement, an NDA there. He kind of plays delightfully within the boundaries, saying things like he went 10-pin bowling with the princess, he ate fish and chips with Master Luke, and he's been receiving a lot of gifts, including the framed black and white picture of the Ep 7 read-through that became quite famous.
That's cool.
Yeah, he got one of those and it was hanging in his trailer, which is pretty cool.
What I take away from this more than anything is he's having fun doing it, which makes me as a fan excited.
I love that they all hang out together as well.
Yeah.
All these years on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be like a reunion of sorts, you know?
Speaking of that, moving on to 2, a fun story has been kind of told after all of these years. On a recent panel, original trilogy stuntman Dickie Beer revealed how Carrie Fisher saved his life. So if you don't know Dickie Beer, he's one of the most well-known stuntmen on the series, especially in Return of the Jedi. So he was Boba Fett, he was the Gamorrean guard, he was Luke's double in a lot of the stunts, on the skiff, the barge. And he was on the panel for the 2014 Cincinnati Comic Expo, and on it he was asked the question, what's one of your memorable moments? And he was saying that when he was playing the Gamorrean guard, it almost cost him his life because the suit, the gloves, the whole helmet, everything weighed a lot. And in the scene, he got pushed over by Leia. So he would fall to the ground, and it took 3 trained men to pick him up and to also remove and put on the costume. Anyway, the scene broke for lunch and everyone left. And he was in the Gamorrean suit, down, couldn't get up, and because the helmet was on, he passed out basically. There was no more fresh oxygen. He was breathing in his own carbon dioxide, and he passed out. And Leia got out of her gold slave bikini. She was at the lunch hall and she looked around. She was like, where's Dickie? Where's Dickie Beer? So she rushed back onto the set on the barge and ripped off his helmet, and he was out. So she's slapping him on the face going, wake up, Dickie, talk to me. And he came to. So she saved his life.
Proving she is truly a princess of action.
How great is that?
It's great, but then there's a part of me that thinks he was huffing a lot of fumes. Maybe it wasn't her at all. Could have been any number of people. And he's like, it's great that Princess Leia in her bikini saving me.
Yeah.
This is so good.
It was really like a half-dressed
Dear Penthouse.
It's really a teamster in a tank top going, hey, Dickie, wake up, lunch is going on. That's a great
Breathe,
story.
Dickie.
I love stories like that back during the filming of Blue Harvest, as they called it at the time.
And one last story.
Yeah.
Sorry, here we go. Story number 3, Oscar Isaac, the actor, cast in Episode 7, pushes the NDA boundaries also by chatting to Entertainment Weekly about Episode 7 leaked pictures, dialogue, and hanging with the original trilogy cast. So this is a situation I can relate to. As a reporter, I have sat down with Adam Driver, and all I wanted to do was go, how's Star Wars going, tell me everything, and I couldn't. So all I managed at the end was to say, good luck with it. Good luck with Episode 7. Knock him dead, okay? And he's like,
get him.
Thanks. But this reporter for Entertainment Weekly really got into the hard-hitting questions for Star Wars. Basically said to Oscar Isaac when they were sitting down, said, are you hanging out with Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford on or off set? What's that dynamic like? And he said, yep, they're such funny people. Carrie's hilarious. She's doing such cool work. Harrison is back. He went on a hiatus for a little while, but he's 150% back. It's pretty amazing to see him bounce back. He looks incredible. Everyone's having a good time. JJ made sure he set that tone. There's a lot of enthusiasm and it's being done with a lot of heart. There's nothing cynical about the way we're doing this, even in the way he's shooting it. He's shooting it on film and he's actually building the set. So you've got hundreds of stormtroopers or whatever and hundreds of extras and all of the ships. You can actually see it. It's all real. Everyone can interact with the world.
Love that.
Yeah.
Right?
Love practical effects so much that they're embracing that so fully. You know, just because it's like, it makes a difference, you know, be it Star Wars, be it anything else. When you tell two actors, this ping pong ball is a dragon,
Yeah.
they're both going to see two totally different dragons, and it makes a difference. But when you have a dragon on set,
Right.
it's like, be afraid of the big dragon that we built.
And they're sitting there like in their own pee going,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, exactly.
Again, it also speaks to that they're having fun filming this.
Yeah.
It seems
Yeah.
as though JJ's got everyone behind his cause, and I'm excited to see what Oscar Isaac's part is. It's still a mystery,
Yeah.
which I'm
Yeah.
excited that I don't know.
He's a solid actor, too.
Yeah. Did you see him in Inside Llewyn Davis?
Yeah, I did. He was great in that movie. Absolutely great. If you haven't seen it, check that movie out.
Yeah, it's fantastic. He just finished off the interview. They asked him, what does he think about the insatiable hunger that people have for minute details of Star Wars, like in these leaked pictures? And he's exactly like you, Ken. He says, if it's all getting revealed beforehand, I feel like it robs people of that moment that they're sitting there watching it for the very first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, and doing this show and working with Schmoes Know Movies and covering the movie news there, I'm exposed to a lot more than I'd like to be, but I have to turn that part of my brain off and just kind of almost just stare at it blankly as I regurgitate the words. But I just want it all to unfold in front of me as best I can.
How long have we got left? 13, 14 months? 14.
Yeah,
14
just
months.
over 14 months. You're
Piece
right.
of cake.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can do
totally.
this.
I'm gonna put my head in the sand, in the Tatooine sand.
It gets everywhere.
Yeah, sands everywhere. It's coarse. Yeah. So, but I'm
That made
excited,
me
man.
feel dirty.
Did it? Yeah. This is
Just like when I watched it in the film. I was like,
best part was in Sith when they cut that scene and the fireplaces going. The whole audience goes, "Oh." Yeah. Sorry, we're having flashbacks to the prequel
the
viewing.
floating pear.
But a great story. I love Oscar Isaac's being involved in this project. I'm glad he's having fun because I wouldn't want anyone who's not having fun in my Star Wars.
Totally.
Yeah. And like all the actors that they've announced are people that are, it's stuff that I've seen and dug, you know, and it's like, oh, that guy's a good actor. That really makes a difference to me,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. It's not like Sam Worthington or something's in it. Right? Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Who doesn't remember that time Sam Worthington
Attempted an American accent.
did something? I'm sure
On
it was
film.
interesting to someone.
Well, that's all for A New Hope, though. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Coming up next, we're going to do Star Pass.
Okay.
All right.
Let's
This
do
is
it.
it. Pick it. I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock. And I have to hide the answers from Mike as well because Mike Black is going to join
I'm not
you.
going to cheat.
Oh, I
Probably.
trust you. I wouldn't have brought you on. Okay,
Says the
ready?
guy who went to the dog.
42-32 is the current score. Can you keep up or gain some ground? Here we go. Who did Luke claim was the only hope for the Alliance should he die?
Luke claimed it.
Yes.
Who did Luke claim was the only Leia?
Yep, that's it.
Because he already knew by
Good
then.
whispering. How many restraining clamps hold an escape pod into place?
What? How many clamps?
Hold an escape pod into place.
6, is it like 8? 6?
I have no idea. I really am lost on that one.
Because it's cylindrical.
Yeah.
Let's think about this from a logical point of view. I think it goes in almost like a hexagonal kind of clamp, and then I think 8. It's either 2 or 8.
I'm going to say 2 is
2,
my guess.
2.
but
It's 3.
So it's triangle.
That's a tough question,
Good
though.
lord.
I really, yeah.
Who told Vader the Millennium Falcon must have been destroyed in the asteroid field?
That was one of the generals, and this is in the second movie, Empire. So who's not Tarkin's dead? Who's left? Who's one of the generals?
Piet.
Yeah.
Nope, we paid tribute to him just a couple weeks ago. Captain Lorth Nita.
Nita.
Apology accepted.
Nita, phone
Captain
a friend.
Nita.
Yeah.
What are the predominant native life forms on Endor?
Ewoks.
You're correct.
Yeah, Chihuahua.
Absolutely. What did C-3PO collide with while riding on Jabba's sail barge?
What did he collide with?
Or excuse me, I said it wrong. Who did C-3PO collide with while riding on Jabba's sail barge?
Who hit into him? It was not another Gamorrean guard.
Not Salacious. Salacious, like, jumped him, so...
On the barge? Is this when they're moving? No, not the skiff. Where?
Yeah, on the barge. Well, he bumps into R2 at one point.
Is this why he falls?
Minute 50.
Is it because R2's trying to get into place for the plan? Let's just say R2.
It is R2-D2.
Oh, good!
When R2's serving drinks.
Yeah, that's the... Yeah.
Final
okay,
question.
That's what I was thinking. That's
Final
a weird
question. Who is the commander of the rebel base on Hoth?
This card sucks. Burn it with fire.
Commander...
I hate to lose you, Solo.
Dickie.
General Rykan.
I wouldn't have
That's
got
his
that.
first name, Dickie Rykan.
Dickie.
Everyone knows Dickie Rykan.
Come on, Dickie!
Well, you got 3 out of the 6 there.
Oh, no,
so
I'm even losing
you've lost some
by
ground.
4.
Lost some ground.
can't
You know what?
35 to 42 now.
Maybe you should talk to Mike about this after the show,
That
about
really
what
was-
he did to you. Or maybe he was a ringer. I don't know.
Mike-
I am Sith.
Your last name just became Hunt. That's all I'm saying.
Now let's move into Duel of Fates. This is our weekly debate of some items in the Star Wars universe. We usually take 2 and place them against each other. Then we take it, state our cases and take it to Facebook on the Jedi Alliance on the Schmoes Know Network Facebook page, where you can join the conversation there.
Now, last week was an interesting debate. We said, who was the better assassin? Was it Darth Maul or was it Boba Fett?
And it was a very specific question.
Yes.
Who is the better assassin?
Mike, weigh in really quickly. Who would you think it would be?
Well, Darth Maul.
Yeah, you know what? Out of the over like about 100 votes or so, 100 votes out of this one. So 73% said Darth Maul and 27% said Boba Fett. But overall, those that said Boba fiercely defended him,
Yeah.
saying that he is actually incredible. He's
He is incredible.
I want to say multifaceted.
Well, Darth Vader
Multifaceted.
had to tell him not to disintegrate people, so he is pretty good at what he does.
And what was interesting is, we again, this question was very specific. That actually, this is Maude's selection to ask. Better assassin. And movie-wise, a lot of people are like, well, Maul, he's more the killer. Boba Fett's a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
In the expanded universe, in the books, I know a lot of people cited a lot of that information. No, Boba Fett was an assassin as well.
Yeah.
Just Maul was a little better.
Well, and I think to the point where Vader had to warn him, like, no, I don't want you to kill these people.
And there's theory going around on the internet now that Boba Fett killed Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru.
What a dick.
Incinerated them.
Yeah, and people were citing that as part of where Vader's like, hey, this time, don't kill them.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's going around. It's
And that's a brutal way to die.
Well, and stormtroopers don't have flamethrowers.
No. They
yeah,
have blasters.
absolutely. And
Boba Fett
he,
does.
He was there. He was on Tatooine at the time, because if you go to the original cut, he was there with Jabba. So it's a whole theory. A good friend of mine, a professor named Whiskey Fist McIntosh, posted that to my page to share to y'all. So we'll
theory.
talk about that later on when we do our theories show.
Yeah, great. I like that one. So those fighting for Maul's sake, we've got Alan Michael Cumbers, who said, I mean, what exactly did Fett do besides ask about the carbon freeze and disappear into the Sarlacc? Maul, on the other hand, is a badass with his double lightsaber and his look. Plus, he killed a Jedi and then died in the best way possible. But for Fett, we've got Andrew Hoffman saying, Boba is Vader's right hand man. He manages to catch Han Solo, sorry. He manages to catch Han Solo. And he even goes toe-to-toe with a Jedi without getting cut in half.
And I like David Herp's comment about Maul. He said, Darth Maul killed Liam Neeson. Not Qui-Gon Jinn.
Liam Neeson.
Just let that sink in. Darth Maul killed the man that trained Batman. So, mind blown. And finally, Savan Erdman said, Boba Fett. Read in the expanded universe with Fett. I would recommend Omnibus Boba Fett. If you're into comics or Tales of the Bounty Hunters, if you're into the books or both, and you will be completely on my side that it is Boba Fett. I mean, Maul was cool in Clone Wars and Darth Plagueis, but he doesn't hold an EE3 carbine rifle to Boba Fett.
Oh, I love the geeks.
I love you guys.
Yeah.
Comments were great there. So again, thanks for commenting on that on the Facebook page. But this week, we're going to start our toy celebration with a debate over, well, toys. Toys indeed. The best Star Wars mail-away figure. This is a 1 versus 1 versus 1 three-way debate. We've got the 1984 Anakin Skywalker figure, which is a mail-away. There's just 5 proof of purchases. Would get you that, buddy. And then we've got the Emperor from 1983, which was another, I think it was 4 or 5 proof of purchases. I had that one myself.
Had him too.
And then maybe the granddaddy of all mail-away figures, the 1979 Boba Fett, rocket launcher working or not. That was the one that set the trend for mail-away figures.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'd like to really just hone in on the fact that I was not born during any of these, and the mail-away thing wasn't something that I have ever done, and I had never even heard about this until you told me.
Right. Well, and we joke about the generational thing, but yeah, this was pretty big for toy collectors in the 80s because these just weren't put into stores right away.
Did you have to pay for them to mail away, or did you just need to
You
collect?
paid for postage and handling.
So they sent them to you?
Yeah.
If you collected coupons?
If you went and got the proof of purchases on the back of the figure boxes,
That little barcode.
barcode, you sent in 5 of those, so your mom and dad spent the money on the first 5 figures, and then you get a special.
Buy 5, get 1 free.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Absolutely. So, Mike, I'll start with you. Which one would you take?
Okay, well, I have to take points off of Boba Fett because the rocket launcher didn't work because
Yeah.
some kid playing with a Battlestar Galactica ship choked himself to death. And they
Did
were
he
like,
die?
Yeah, he died. And so they were like, we're not doing anything that launches for a while. So they kind of cooled their heels on that for a while.
Stop laughing. You shouldn't laugh at
It's
this.
your reaction is what's funny about it, not
Okay.
Starbuck killed
not-
somebody.
Yeah,
Now Fett can't.
right. And so we all lost out because of that.
Starbucker.
And Star Bummer. And so Boba Fett's out for me. It's between the Emperor and Anakin. I think Anakin because there will probably never be a version of that figure again.
Right.
Because now it's young Anakin in that hologram scene at the end there.
It's Hayden
as
Christensen.
opposed to the old Anakin, which that figure was.
Right.
And so I would say that's probably the best one.
Absolutely. Now, for you, just going off your gut instinct, looking at what you got to play with here,
Yeah.
Boba Fett with or without the rocket launcher to work, the first time you got to see the Emperor or the first time you got to see Sebastian Shaw's Anakin Skywalker as a figure?
I think that the Anakin one is more rare. I don't think anyone would immediately want that one first because he merely was on the screen for all of 4 seconds, kind of,
Yeah.
you know, admiringly looking on. Why do I always say the hardest things? Anyway, I don't think it would be Boba Fett because everyone would want it.
Yeah.
Because,
Right.
you know, back then he was the coolest of all of those.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Emperor,
Okay.
even though he doesn't look like him at all
Yeah, it's
in the figurine.
And on the Emperor's side, it is the Emperor, and it was the only way to get him.
well,
you
that
know?
is why he gets my vote. Look, the Boba Fett character was cool, and it was the first time back in '79. I was a little too young for me. I was a little too young at the time to collect, but for the collectors at the time, it was the first character from Empire they were seeing that was like a
Yeah.
new character. Not even Lando. It was
Yeah,
like,
the
who is
only
this guy?
thing they'd seen him in was the animated thing from the Christmas
The
special.
horrible Star Wars Christmas special. That was the only good thing to come out of it.
Yeah.
Anakin, the Sebastian Shaw version, that was cool. Like you said, that was the same type of thought I remember having. Is yeah. But the Emperor was the Emperor.
Yeah.
And that was when it came in the mail, and I opened up that little box and pulled that little plastic. That's the first time I ever saw.
Can we
or
see the
held-
Emperor
held
again?
the Emperor in
Phil,
his hand.
Is that all right? I just need. Because I kind of want to change my vote if you're going to
Your
go
argument was so compelling.
so that I can maybe do...
You want to move away from the Emperor? That's the Anakin. That's Sebastian Shaw's version.
Yeah, because they're Jedi
And it
robes.
looks exactly like him.
And that's what you had to... That's the advertisement for it. The 5, so 5, you had to buy 5 other
I just
figures.
think that if you had that in your collection, everyone would like...
There you go. There's
"Who's
the
that?"
Emperor one.
Oh, he does
Now, I
look
like the legs. If you look at the picture here...
He's wearing culottes.
Yeah, look. It looks like he's a fashionable little soccer mom.
I don't recall him having a staff.
I don't think he did.
He came with what he didn't. Maybe in a couple of scenes coming down the shuttle, I think he might have had a staff.
Oh, okay.
But what's interesting too, the original figure was shipped out with what was also Chief Chirpa's like stick. They just repackaged it as his cane.
Right.
It was later corrected, and eventually the other figures you could pick up in store with a card back, but those are the first time you see it. So
I'm going to say Boba Fett.
you're going with
Boba.
Fett.
Yeah, only so it's one apiece.
Yeah.
But also because it was the more colourful character, and he did have accessories that's better than a stick.
That's
I
true.
would
Even though it
That's
didn't
a
work
good
and it has a
argument.
powder kill.
That's a good argument.
It's still, the accessories of the...
So that is this week's Duel of the Fates. 79 Boba Fett, 83 Emperor, 84 Anakin Skywalker, one apiece here on set. So you, the fans, can now tweet in at Jedi Alliance SK or hashtag Jedi Alliance, or on the Facebook page, which can be found.
Really well, I was burping. I was trying to be so subtle about it. It was caught in my throat. I'm like, don't talk to me right now. Jedi Alliance and the Schmoes Know Network.
And weigh in. We'll put up the pictures. You decide, and we'll read the totals next week. And if your comment strikes our fancy, we'll read you live. We'll read you on air.
Yeah.
So going on to keep with the toy theme, we're going to do kind of we usually do the Forced On segment, which we take a small part of the Star Wars universe, which is so big and expansive, and break it down to one section and force it on you. Well, this week, because we have Mike Black, who's going to be our resident Star Wars toy expert, we decided to go just kind of an open forum into toys. I've got my new edition, which is the Black Series ATST.
Very cool.
Or ATSIT, to make everyone happy that I call the other one AT-AT. And you brought some stuff too, Mike, to go over, man. What do we got?
Yeah, the big thing right now is the Star Wars Black Series.
Yeah.
I personally only collect the 6-inch ones because I'm what collectors call a size queen. And but they're very cool. They're highly detailed. I don't know. We can't close up really, but they went so far as to make like Darth Vader's full-on
The
head.
Darth Vader mask, and for those on iTunes,
It's in 2 parts. Like you can check it out.
I'll describe it as best as in my best Vin Scully. But yeah, the mask comes off in 2 parts here, Marty.
I'm going to show.
Yeah. Oh, Hunt's going to run to the camera.
Please
here.
run and show the audience. the people at home.
So Maude is showing it there. Take that helmet off there.
Wait, it needs to find my focus.
Let me look on you with my own eyes.
The Black Series, Mike, when did the Black Series start coming out?
This last year. And they started at Comic-Con with a Boba Fett that came in a sideways package.
Yeah.
And came with a Han Solo and
I'm just going to let
Carbonite
Maude play with figures in the corner
and a
because this
floating
sounds great.
stand. This should be its own podcast. Just her freaking out with Jedi Darth Vader.
Which
You're far more overjoyed than I was when I got this figure.
Oh, come on.
And you're putting his head on backwards. You psycho. What kind of creep puts his helmet on backwards?
I was like, that's amazing detail. You can still see the scars on his head when he has his helmet on.
So the Black Series, it has definitely taken the world by storm, the
And
Star
they
Wars
kept him in
universe.
scale and everything, and like,
Yeah.
here, check out Han Solo.
I'd love to.
I kind of figured.
Careful what you do with that one.
Yeah, it's a family show.
The articulation is really good on these two, and these are the figures I think we all wanted as children.
Yeah, and you know what I figured out is that now that we're like 38, 39, however old we are,
Supposedly grown men.
these are the size they were to us when we were kids. And I have a feeling that's a big part of why they did them in this size, was like, this feels right.
Right,
You know?
yeah, this is still the same scale. I didn't think about that. What are the cool toys you got there?
And now this is almost out of juice. He's got a bad motivator.
You're gonna love this one.
He may not be working.
This is a little R2-D2. It's normal size for what you think of the normal 3-inch,
I'm gonna
3.5
be
inch.
so let down if this doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It's moving.
He totally ran out of juice.
Before the show, he was showing me. He can control it and drive around the entire
It zips
table.
around. They come from Japan. They're the same size as the old Star Wars figures. His eye lights up and his head twirls around. And you can get them on eBay. That's probably the best place to find them. But they're about $20.
That's great.
And they're worth every penny. But when it's going, he zips. Like, he'll just zoom all over the place. And he goes in reverse and twirls.
Now, are they going to do a prequel one with the rocket so you can fly him around your house?
Oh, that would be... Give them 5 more years in Japan.
We'll come up with it.
Eventually, they'll do it.
What else you got?
And then I got this. We were just talking about the mail-aways, and we talked about the tragic Battlestar Galactica incident.
Death.
Well,
poor child.
Kenner finally realized it was like, that promise has been around for about 30 years now, and so they finally made a Boba Fett with a rocket launching backpack.
It looks great.
And it was also a mail away. You had to send in 5 proofs of purchase to get it.
Old school. They did
And
it old school.
so they sent them to you, so you can find these on eBay too. And then
How much though?
$3 million.
Oh.
No, I don't
I've got
know.
it in
Probably-
credits. I can give you 1 now and 2 when we land.
Probably like 30.
Oh.
$30.
Oh, easy.
It's not bad.
Yeah. And mine came in a protective bubble, but I took it out because I wanted to show it to you guys. And then these are sound blasters, little keychains,
Oh, no.
$8.
This is exactly what she needs. We give
We'll
this
just
to
let her.
What are they?
You just $8 for that, and they're loud.
That's
She's overjoyed with
It
that.
just doesn't stop. I didn't press it a second time. Oh.
yeah. This
They
is
sound exactly right.
that's great sound from a little yo-yo looking.
And there's like, I think 6 different ones of different colors, and each one had different sound bites.
Yeah.
So eventually you can get the whole library of sound from Star Wars and dance just as well as she does.
Where can I get one of these?
You can have that one.
Look at that. Look at that.
Really?
She's going to start crying.
Yes.
I've seen Maude cry over Star Wars
Yes,
before.
take it.
Take it and
I've never seen anyone so pleased with something like that.
that's why she needs it.
Yeah.
Take it and annoy the crap out of Alicia Malone.
When 900 years old you reach, look as good you will
I
not.
feel like this was a mistake already.
No, this is going to work
It's
out
like
nicely.
it's like
I'm so
getting,
happy I sound like this.
This is like getting your brother's kid a drum set, and your brother's like, thanks. Thanks a lot.
You're going to be getting hate mail from Alicia
so
Malone.
much, Mike. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
And
much.
finally, you got this little skateboard here. I'm not going
Yeah.
to let you forget about this. This is cool.
No, yeah, Tech Deck does those, and they do all the major characters from Star Wars. You can actually get a box set of all of them. I saw it at Toys R Us, and it has, this one's Boba Fett, which is the only one that I really wanted, but
I'm
you
seeing
can
a
get all
theme
of them.
here.
Yeah.
And yeah, and they come with a little screwdriver so you can change the wheel colors and stuff
like-
like that.
change your
and
trucks.
customize
Nice.
them and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Somewhere in my office at work, I have one of these floating around. Someone left on my desk. So
Yeah, and
cool.
I know nothing about skateboarding, but you can have a lot of fun just setting up ramps and stuff.
I do, as we told, I think, during the Allison Hayslip episode, I famously sold my original Kenner Star Wars figures in a lunchbox for $2 so I could buy my own skateboard.
Well, then perhaps this should go to you.
I'm actually going to put forward my toy collection to be analysed, and it's funny that you say you had a lunchbox full of the toys because that's mine.
That's what
Oh,
we're gonna,
wow.
So right here
We're doing
in
a
this
bit of a
briefcase-
Star Wars roadshow, antique roadshow here. Look at
Let's-
this. Look what you got. You got a lot of things in there.
Oh, wow.
So
I see Ned Stark. That's the wrong show.
I've also got an ocarina in here, but you know.
And
that's-
Howard Stark. How weird is that? That's
So what do you got?
Iron Man's dad. It's a joke. He's not actually in there.
Okay, so I don't know if it.
Oh, that's from Cobra Law.
That's a G.I.
from
Joe.
the G.I. Joe movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From 1987.
Their war cry was Cobra la 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 la.
Yeah. That's another type
And,
of. But we could probably break into a
these-
G.I. Joe podcast real
These
quick
guys
here.
had insect armor, and they were the only guys to beat up Snake Eyes.
Yeah, this is true.
So basically, the best part about being a Star Wars fan is that
Yeah.
any friend who's not,
Yeah.
they don't want their stuff, and so they'll give it to you. My co-host
Yes.
on the Hot Hits, Dave, he found an old lunchbox filled with toys.
Wait, did he buy it in Arroyo Grande,
This
California
is what
in
I'm
1984?
trying to find out.
Are these my figures?
Are they your figures?
I had every one of these except for I did not have a
Reunited.
1977 Luke.
So obviously these toys have been bashed up a little bit. They've been well loved. But these are ones that were given to me because he was cleaning out his house and his mum was like, just throw these out. And he's like, oh, I know someone that would like them. So now I've got them. The toys here, we've got Bib Fortuna. We've got definitely Star Wars original Luke, because he looks like he hasn't even handled a lightsaber yet. We've got Chewie, we've got Hoth Han, and we've got a very near naked looking Darth Vader because he doesn't have his cape or anything.
Right.
And these are the ones I loved.
The telescoping
lightsaber, which had that little dangling participle of a plastic thing coming out of it. So as a kid, even you're just like, nah, that didn't look realistic
I'm going to
enough.
rip that off.
Can you tell me anything about these?
Well, first of all, they're in great shape.
Really?
Yeah, like this Bib Fortuna, his jacket usually is torn up and ripped apart, and this one's in really good shape. You don't get a lot for these that much anymore, just
because I don't want to sell them.
Good, because they keep getting updated with newer ones, but they're very cool to have, and yeah, these are all in. They don't have their accessories, but they're still in pretty good shape.
And this Chewie's in great shape for being as old as it is. This is but definitely can tell the scale is different because in this one,
these are from the original.
Yeah, this is from these should be in your C-3PO figure carrying cases where they should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget.
Now
Vader
this
here.
Luke is, for being the main character, he's held up pretty well.
His face
been
looks a
through
little
the
bit
wars.
post Wampa, but yeah.
I was just gonna say make a horrible Mark Hamill joke. So, yeah, he's in great shape. Lost a little paint around the neck, so Vader got to him pretty close at one point.
So Maude, you got quite a little treasure trove of goodies there.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to. Do you display them in your living room, or just are these hidden in your little lunchbox? Which that's not really.
This Chewbacca is perfect.
Yeah, that Chewbacca's in great condition.
A little paint off the nose, but other than that, he's in great shape. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should be very proud of these.
Of the original Kenner line, Mike, what was maybe one of the favorite ones that you own that was maybe not one of the main ones?
Well, the main one that I loved the most was Bespin Han. But of the old guys, what sucked is my brothers were much older than me. They were like 10 and 11 years older than me.
Oh, wow. So.
And their favorite thing to do, if I had an alien that I liked, was switch his head with someone else. So I had Snaggletooth, who I really liked, and Hammerhead. Both of their heads got switched. So I wouldn't know who my favorite was, Rick and Randy. Thank you very much for ruining that.
You grew up thinking Han was actually an alien?
Yeah, Princess Leia's head was on, Darth Vader's body and stuff. It was not pretty.
That's going to spawn another kind of theory. Yeah.
Well, people customize these old ones still, and there are people that do... that their goal is to make everyone that appeared on film in the Star Wars movies. And so, there are guys that have done really good versions of Grand Moff Tarkin, who they never made a figure of, And
Are you sure they never made a figure of Tarkin? I swear I've seen something with the
They
gaunt...
did in the 90s, in the later series, but in the original series, they never did.
They didn't have a lot of Imperial officers, I don't think, other than maybe generic one, if I can remember.
And
didn't have a Pied or Ozzel or anything like that.
And I've seen a set now where they've got almost like the Knights of the Hexagon Table.
Yeah. And they're doing Funko. This company Funko does reaction figures of other properties in the Star Wars style. Like they just did Alien, and now they're doing Terminator and Back to the Future, but they're all in this original Kenner style, as if Kenner had made figures of those characters. I've seen the Back to the
Future ones. They're cool. Quickly, have you tell me about this line at
all?
What?
Yeah. These are the Unleashed Star Wars.
The Star Wars Unleashed. This is one I've had in my collection for a while. It was given to me. It's Princess Leia in still bikini. Ooh. It is a... If it makes even more sense, it's a highly sexualized version of that, which is saying something. Where it started, but it's a line I don't hear about a lot.
Part of the reason is because they're not really action figures; they're more like statues.
Yeah,
you can't move them or anything like that. But as you can see, sexy as hell. They went all out, on that part. And this is right before the blaster cannon scene where she mans the blaster, and she took time to pose at that point. And, right
Well, she
before,
did just kill Jabba. She's like,
She had the right to celebrate. And you see a lot of these figures now with Sideshow Collectibles and all those companies putting out the bigger detailed models. And this is from about 2008.
Now, I will say they're very cool looking. I never got into them, but if you are into those, they're pretty cheap now. They're not like crazy amounts of money. And Target did an exclusive Boba Fett one that was very cool, where it's his stand was actually like smoke from his jetpack, so he looked like he was levitating. So
in this particular series, they had Luke and the Emperor.
Luke doesn't look anything like Luke.
No, he looks like a very aggressive comic book version of Luke.
Yeah, and the Emperor looks like Batman. He's got a full Batman cape going.
Emperor actually looks like this.
Yeah. Roids. I've got roids.
Cool.
What is this last?
Oh, this is my in memory.
Oh,
that's in my memory.
There we go.
But that has been our look at toys, part one of many. I'm sure will come, Mike.
Sure.
We're so glad to have you on and share your knowledge.
Last little kind of bit of trivia just to test your ability.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every toy on the table right now, collective worth, do you think?
All together?
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to say $450.
Cool. I can sell
Not
it
a
and pay
crazy
my
amount, but
car payment
pretty
this
good.
month. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it. We're taking offers right now on the Facebook page.
Then a G.I. Joe thrown in for measure.
No, I'll buy that Cobra Law $5 from you.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe the most valuable thing on the table. How weird would that be?
Really?
No.
Oh, that's what I wanted. I wanted like, that is rare. No one's got one of those. That's at least $10,000. I'm like,
No one will pay
There's also the
$10,000
Star Wars
for a
fig-
lobster, man.
The Star Wars figure market's also somewhat flooded. I have an original episode 1 Darth Maul in package, and I was like, let me look it up. $3.
Yeah, if you guys go on Craigslist, just look up people just dump their collections.
Yeah.
And it happens a lot at like grades time. Like when grades are coming out, people have to dump a lot of their stuff.
People have to dump. Mike,
Oh, can I mention a thing for the Star Wars, for the people that collect Star Wars Black? Right now, I don't know if this is going to air today or whatever.
it'll air later today, yeah.
Go to HasbroToyShop.com, use the code SUPER20, and you get 20% off your order. They have Stormtroopers in stock, but you have to search Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
And if you get up to 4, it's free shipping. So they come out to be a lot cheaper, and these are expensive. So
And as you
it's
told me
worth doing.
before the show, if you're building your army,
this is the time to do it.
A lot of people
and
like
they have
the
clone troopers also.
absolutely.
how much are they each?
So, like $20.
Yeah. The Black
And
Series
that
is
knocks them down to like about 18 if you get 4. I worked it out because I got 4.
I got an entire legion of
I
my
really
best
wanted
troops.
to. Like there was a part of me that was like, I could go broke if I stay here too long.
I've been there too. Mike, where can they find you on Twitter?
Mike Black Attack. Very Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of that.
So please, Jedi Alliance fans, follow Mike Black Attack on Twitter, and start asking him Star Wars questions. I'm going to have you just inundated all week long with Star Wars figure questions and trivia. And, of course, you can follow our new Twitter page, which is at Jedi Alliance SK. And before we go, we're going to pay in memory. Each week, we'd like to pay tribute to a fallen Star Wars character, but this week, it is my Y-Wing. As I said, I sold all my figures in a lunchbox for $2 in about 1985 to get a skateboard. The last thing that remains is this original Kenner AT-AT Commander, not quite General Veers, just a generic Commander, and this Y-Wing that has been beaten up, the batteries no longer work, the landing gear doesn't exist anymore, it has to be manually pulled out, and the S-foils, if you will, are gone, are missing off the back, but a decal, these are the original decals I put on it as a 8 or 9-year-old in 1983, so Y-Wing, I pay tribute to you, my fallen friend. You gave me many, many memories, and I found you in a storage box last year and cried a little bit.
I like to think these guys have their own adventure that they go on. Like,
I did that with my stuffed animals when I put them away in the 6th grade. You're going away now. Mommy says it'll be fine. So that has been a very fun-filled edition of Jedi Alliance here on the Schmoes Know Network. Follow us on Twitter. Follow Maude Garrett on Twitter at
Maude Garrett. 2 R's, 2 T's.
That's right, and me at Ken Napzok.
That's it. And make sure you do subscribe, rate, review, and check out all the other shows on the network as well. And don't forget that many Bothans died to bring us this information.
From producers Christian Harloff, Mark Ellis, and the entire Schmoes Know Network crew, we would like to thank you for listening to the Jedi Alliance on the Schmoes Know Network. Special thanks to Kevin Undergaro and Maria Menounos, the author of Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness in stores now. To watch or listen to other Schmoes Know Network episodes, get movie news, and join the conversation, be sure to visit schmoesknow.com and find the Jedi Alliance on iTunes and subscribe, rate, and review. I'm the Pit Boss, and this has been a presentation of Schmoes Know